Hi guys, how are you? Apologies for my last video. From now on, I'm only going to give you guys energy because me editing those videos was so boring. But I've learned the lesson, guys. Do not record when you just wake up. Even though you get a lot of stuff done for the day, no, it's a no. Next, that video should have been cancelled. In fact, I think it probably was cancelled. But anyways, today I'm giving you a video that you guys have wanted to see, and you guys have been asking me for so long, what have I done to lose weight over the years and what is it that I've been doing? And I've been so reluctant to do this video, and I'll tell you why. I've been reluctant because I'm not at my goal weight, I'm not at my goal size, I'm not at my goal toneness, but you guys won't leave me alone. I'm like, let me get there, but you guys can't wait because I don't know why. Tell me in the comments, why can you not wait for me to get there? But anyways, let me not be selfish because there are things that I have learned at the moment which can benefit some of you guys. So let's just get straight into it. Before we get into it, since I am making content that you guys want to see, can you go ahead and hit the subscribe button please, because that will do me so much good, so much help and so much favor. So hit the subscribe, don't worry, I'll wait. So the first thing that you have to do is redefine what full is for you. Now for me, full was when I felt like I was about to fall asleep. So now full is making sure that my stomach doesn't grumble. So whatever diet I do, whether I'm vegan, whether I'm pescatarian, which I was previously, whatever it is I'm doing, I'm not trying to starve myself, and I will not starve myself. One of the problems that I have is I love to eat. Whether I'm hungry or not, I will eat. And I like to eat when other people are eating. I could have had a big massive feast. If I go out and meet one of my friends and they're eating, I will eat. Now full should not be when you want to go to sleep. That means you've overeaten. Girl, that is gluttony. We don't want none of that. We want to be able to have enough energy to do the things that we need to do, because that's essentially what food is, energy. We just learn to be able to put only what you can eat on your plate. Drink 2 glasses of warm water first. You can only tell when you're thirsty when you get dehydrated in your throat, and that's not usually a sign, because at that point you really need water. Your body is like screaming out. That's its way of crying out to you, like, give me water, girl. In saying that, if you're able to have 2 cups of water first and then maybe half an hour later decide if you're hungry or not, 9 times out of 10 I tell you that you're thirsty and you're not hungry. And food is supposed to give you energy. It's not supposed to make you go to bed. It's not a sleeping pill. It is supposed to give you energy. And how I started to do this is I dropped down my portion sizes massively to define at what point I get hungry. So if you eat a massive bowl of rice, maybe have half that, for example, or have a quarter of that and add more veg. But you have to be able to reduce it to a point where you're not hungry but you're not falling asleep. So that's the first thing. Now for me, from doing loads of different studies on my body, I have realized that my body loves carbs. It enjoys it. I can eat 2 bowls of rice this week and next week I will see the weight. So my body is very reactive to carbs. So what I had to learn is that I had to learn to eat good carbs. So I don't eat white pasta, I don't eat white rice. I mean, if I'm going out to a restaurant I will do it, but I generally don't eat white anything, because white anything is bleached food and my organs are too good to be putting bleach inside of them, and yours too, girl. So I don't eat white anything. I eat quinoa instead of rice, because rice actually isn't good for you. There's no nutrition in rice. It's just a carb. There's nothing in it because everything else has been bleached out. I mean, you can do brown pasta or brown rice. In all honesty, food that we eat is actually supposed to be black, and that's why you see things like black rice and black pasta being more accessible, because that is food in its rawest form. It just doesn't look nice. If you think of making like a jollof rice dish, or if you make a curry dish, for example, it's going to look so much nicer with white rice as opposed to black rice, and that's literally all it is. So to me, I'm like, I'm going to eat bleached food so that it can look nice on my plate. I don't care how the food looks. I need the nutrients. That's what I care about. So for me, I tend to eat carbs for breakfast and for lunch. I don't have carbs in the evening because I'm not working out. if you're someone that works out in the evenings, maybe have something light for breakfast, maybe medium for lunch, have something proportionally large for dinner, and then work out. But whenever you work out is when you should have your biggest meal. So have carbs nearer to the time that you're going to work out. For me, I work out in the mornings, so I make sure that my breakfast is a little bit carby. If you're someone that works out in the evenings, just have your carbs nearer the time that you work out, because it's going to give you energy. But the foods that I have found that really work for me is couscous. Couscous is amazing because it's high in complex carbs, which is amazing for your body, and also it's really high in fiber as well, which helps like your body, you know, move along your intestines. So you know, you find that with certain foods you might find that you're going to the toilet a little bit more, which is what you want. I'll tell you, before I was vegan, before I was vegetarian, when I was eating everything and anything and I didn't understand why I was, my terms, big, and that's not how you want to eat. You want to make sure that you're eating things that are nutritious for you. So if it means you have to cut out foods that's not nutritious, then cut them out. But just make sure that you are eating carbs, because I've tried the no carb diet, and because my body generally needs carbs, all bodies do, I don't think or advise a no carb diet. I prefer to have complex carbs, so I'm eating carbs that are good for me. So I'm eating, I wouldn't really recommend brown rice, brown pasta if you can't eat couscous, or quinoa. I haven't mastered how to eat quinoa or how to make it, but couscous for me takes 5 minutes, I'm done and dusted, and Bob's your uncle. Like, it's so easy. So that's something that's really easy to do. To be fair, couscous and quinoa, mainly couscous is what I eat. You can make jollof couscous, there's so many things you can do with couscous. Trust me, research it, it's so good. You feel full, but you don't feel like you're about to die. You don't feel bloated, you don't have any of those feelings. If you're someone that's actually struggling to reduce your portion sizes, something that I would do is have an apple cider vinegar mix. My body didn't care whether I had apple cider vinegar in the morning or in the evening. If it wanted to eat, it would eat. I'd be full from apple cider vinegar and I'd still eat. So I have a genuine problem when it comes to food. I just enjoy eating. I like eating everything and anything. If you take a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, mix it with some warm water, maybe a tiny bit of cayenne pepper and lemon juice to sweeten it up. If you really want it to be sweeter, then you can add honey, or in my case it was a form of, I can't think of what it is now, but it was a form of sweetener, but of course it was vegan, because if you didn't know, I am vegan, guys. If you want a video of me being vegan, like this video, comment down below and I'm happy to make one, because I know a lot of people think that it's strange that I'm vegan and how I do it and what have you. But if you want me to do that, in fact, would you want me to do what I eat in a day? I can do one of those as well, and then you can see what I eat. So yeah. And also in the description box below I have linked my vlog channel, where you will find a lot of videos on there where I'm trying different vegan things, just to see like how it is, what it tastes like and what have you. Something that helped me massively in reducing my portions was reducing my plate size and reducing my cutlery size. Now, if I'm going to eat out of a bowl, this is what I eat out of. Now, I can fill this up as much as I want. I can heap it, because I know there's only a certain amount of food that can fit inside this. Some people might think this is really small, but to be fair, I feel full. I don't ever feel hungry. I've never gone back and had like seconds, thirds, fourths because I think this is small. This is actually fine for me. To begin with, I did have like a plate and a half, and then I started to reduce myself down to 1 plate. But I do, like I said, I do make sure I heap it. Now, if you're going to eat out of a bowl like this, then there's no point using a big spoon or normal size spoon, because within 3 bites your food's going to be done and you're just going to feel like you've not eaten. So what I do is I eat with a teaspoon, because I feel like I'm eating more food. Now, these are the things that I have to do to trick my brain in making me feel like I've eaten and I am full, because sometimes I'm full, but because I've only taken 3 scoops it feels like I'm not. So eating out of these 2 things is literally been a lifesaver, and it's helped me to keep off all my weight, apart from December where I went ham. But that's besides the point. We're working towards getting back down to that size, okay? If I eat anything that requires a flat plate, I just eat out of a saucer. Again, I can put as much as I want on this. Obviously not too much, because obviously I can pile it quite high. If, trust me, I've done that. This is gonna sound so obvious, but only eat when you're hungry. And for me, I had to learn what hungry actually meant. Not that you're peckish, because peckish doesn't mean you're hungry. It just means you want something to be in your mouth. So learn to understand your body. Like, before you put something in your mouth, I always have to ask myself, Wanda, are you hungry? And if it's like, if I can't be like, no, I actually need to eat, I'm gonna faint, or I'm really hungry right now, then eat. But if you're just like, no, don't eat it. It's not worth it. And if you just feel like just chewing something because, you know, you're just used to eating, then find things that are really low in fat, low in carbs, that will allow you to still have that feeling of eating something, but you're not piling on the pounds whilst doing it. So for example, for me, I'll have fruit, I will have vegetables dipped in some hummus, and a really small amount of hummus, please, ladies and gentlemen, because that hummus stuff is fat. Okay, so it has to be a small portion. I can have carrots with hummus. You could have like maybe like a little salad mix with like literally a drop of olive oil. If you put loads and loads of olive oil, it defeats the purpose. If you're gonna have like loads of salad cream on your food, or if you're gonna have fruit and then douse it in chocolate sauce, you're just doing yourself no favors. Your stomach is gonna be up there expanded, and we don't want that, okay? Another thing that I found that helped is to increase your fiber intake. Now for me, you want to be going to the toilet as much as possible, because that's a sign that your stomach is clearing out and, you know, there's a regular flow in your intestines. So for me, fiber and high fiber foods really help with that. So for example, porridge has a lot of high fiber, a lot of fruit, a lot of veg, a lot of spinach. So for example, for me in the summertime, rather than having a porridge, I would have a smoothie, because I know by midday or by 2-3 o'clock I'm gonna need to go to the loo. If you can, I would say go into the loo, and when I mean loo, I don't mean to do a number one, I mean doing the other thing. If you can go like twice a day, then you're good. If you go more than that, I don't know any science behind saying that you shouldn't go too much, but for me, I think the more you go, the better it is, the more your system's like working and flushing out. And this is gonna sound really disgusting what I'm about to tell you, but back, I'm talking 10 years ago, when I didn't care about, not that I didn't care, I wasn't educated about health, I didn't know anything about health. I remember I used to go to the toilet once a week, and now I can't even imagine my body doing that. And that just goes to show you that your body's not clearing out, you're just filling it in this way and nothing's coming out the other way. So, you know, look into ways to increase your fiber so you can go to the loo a lot more, because trust me, that will help. That will help in bloating, that will help in keeping your stomach flat, it will help in a lot of things. Another thing I find that works best is, number one, working out in the morning on an empty stomach. I don't have anything, because what I find is that your body is breaking down the fat that is there already. If you work out towards the end of the day, you've had your breakfast, you've had your lunch, you've had your snack in between, you've had your 4 o'clock pick me up, and then maybe you're gonna have dinner later. So your body is working to work off what you've had for the day, and then it's gonna work off the fat and the carbs and everything else that's already in your body. So if you can work out on an empty stomach, that means that your body is going to be attacking all the stuff that's already in your body, and you can get to your goal weight a lot sooner. Like I said, guys, I ate well for all of 2017. I maintained a size 8 for the majority of 2017, and I couldn't even believe that I did that. And that was because I ate well the entire year. And when I mean I ate well, that doesn't mean I didn't have a chocolate. There's vegan chocolate. That doesn't mean that I didn't have bad food, but I was very calculated with my food. So for example, Monday to Friday, I would say to myself, you cannot have any junk food, any sweets, any 4 o'clock pick-me-ups. You can't have any of that stuff. And if you do have that stuff, you can't have it at the weekend. So if you go out to dinner with your friends and everyone gets an ice cream and you want to get a sorbet, you can't have that because you've had yours in the week and you don't want to do that. So I have to always like balance it up. So for example, if I know that, oh, this week I've been a bit carby, or like I really wanted to enjoy carbs, when the weekend comes I can't then enjoy a treat because I've increased my carb intake. So if I'm gonna combine the two, next week I'm gonna see that weight, and I don't want that. So I always had to like weigh up my options, and I always had to be conscious of what I'm eating. And that's the thing, food should be a conscious thing. You shouldn't be eating for the sake of eating because your friends are eating, all your people are eating this or having that. That's not why you should be eating. You should be eating because you want energy. That's it. That's the only reason why you eat food. No other reason. You saw your friend have an apple pie and you want an apple pie, but you just literally had family dinner. You have to say to yourself, no, because this is going to be the reason why I'm not going to get to my goal weight. And these are the kind of things I had to say to myself, like, one day if you eat that, you're further away from your goal weight. And it got to the point where I became so obsessed wanting my body to be its best that I cut out alcohol, because I was like, what does alcohol do for me? Alcohol is basically a mild form of poison. So wait, I'm gonna pay this barman, yeah, let's say what, £12, £15 for a drink, and it's gonna be poisonous to me, and I'm the one that's gonna feel the effect. No, I gave it up. I was like, I don't need this. This doesn't have any nutrients. This doesn't have any benefits to me. And to be honest, I'm someone that I think I'm quite wild and crazy. So I just felt like I didn't need alcohol. Like, you know, sometimes you might want to like just be a bit loose, or you have alcohol to be like to have a good time. I can have a good time without alcohol. So I am saving myself money and having my body live longer. I don't need to be putting all this stuff in my body. Just don't do it. Give up alcohol if you can. I know it's hard, but just give it up. Or even like limit yourself. Do it, you know, gradually. You don't have to like, tomorrow wake up, I'm going cold turkey. You're gonna slide back, trust me. Also, another thing about the alcohol thing, when you actually drink alcohol and then you're trying to work out, your body burns the alcohol off first and then gets to your body. So if you're drinking, let's say every weekend, and then Monday to Friday you're trying to work out, all you're doing is working off the wine and the cocktails you had on the weekend. That's it. You're not getting to the core, and you need to get to the core to get that booty. You need to get to the core to have the core, you know? So again, it was like, I'm gonna pay you money and I'm gonna make my workouts harder for myself. Goodbye alcohol, we no longer need to be friends. Bye, see ya, toodles. My last point is, eat 2 hours before you're going to bed. Don't eat any closer to the time that you're going to sleep. Allow yourself 2 hours for your food to digest. To be honest, if I would say try and make that time a bit more, but the minimum is 2 hours, because your body is not working as much as it is as when you woke up, for example. So that's why I try to have my carbs earlier in the day. Do not eat and then, you know, go to bed shortly after. It's doing nothing for you. In fact, the food doesn't even get to go down properly, which means, I don't know, I mean, I don't know the science behind this, but I think that because your food isn't going down properly, your body's not getting all the nutrients it needs, and then it just sits there and it turns into whatever it turns in, whether it's fat, whether it's glucose. I don't know the science, guys. I just know what works for me. But that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know, what other things have you guys discovered about yourself? And again, as I mentioned before, if you do want a video about how I went vegan, I went from cutting out pork, because that's the most fattening thing you could ever eat, ever. I cut out pork first, I then cut out beef, because again, pork and beef are the two most fattening things you could ever eat. So I cut those two things out years ago. And it's funny, when I took a trip to Nigeria in 2016 and I saw one of my friends, to me, I was my biggest size, but to them, they were like, Wanda, you've actually lost weight. But that's because I found that eating those two meats, the way that my body would put on weight was not in a nice way. Whereas now when I put on weight, it's in a different way. And now that I'm vegan and I put on weight, it's in a completely different way as well. And I did an experiment in December. I literally ate whatever I want, and that was the treat to myself for eating well the entire year. And just seeing like how my body would actually put on weight now that I'm a vegan. And a lot of people are like, you look the same, you look fine. I actually fit into my size 8 clothes whilst I'm a stone heavier, which is about 6 kilos. Crazy, because the proportion of where my fat is now is completely different to when I ate meat, to when I ate fish, to when I drank alcohol. It's completely different. I find when you eat all those things that aren't beneficial to you, it just goes to one place. For me, it was my stomach and my thighs.